Hello, friends. Welcome to Storycraft. On this channel, you will enjoy world top stories. Let's view the video. Top 15 Deadliest Leaders in Human History. 1. Mao Zedong, China, 1949-1976. Mao Zedong, the founding father of the People's Republic of China, led the nation from 1949 until his death in 1976. His tenure was marked by radical policies like the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, which aimed to transform China's agrarian society into a socialist utopia. However, these initiatives led to catastrophic consequences, including widespread famine, persecution, and the deaths of millions. Estimates suggest that Mao's policies resulted in the deaths of approximately 65 million people, making him one of history's deadliest leaders. Despite the human cost, Mao remains a complex figure, revered by some for his role in unifying China and criticized by others for his authoritarian rule. 2. Joseph Stalin, Soviet Union, 1924-1953. Joseph Stalin's rule over the Soviet Union was characterized by widespread purges, forced labor camps, and state-induced famines. His policies, including collectivization and the Great Purge, led to the deaths of millions. Estimates of the death toll under Stalin's regime vary, with figures ranging from 15 to 20 million people. Stalin's authoritarian governance and the ideal climate of fear he cultivated left a lasting impact on Soviet society and the world. 3. Adolf Hitler, Germany, 1933-1945. Adolf Hitler, as the leader of Nazi Germany, instigated World War II and orchestrated the Holocaust, leading to the deaths of millions. His aggressive expansionist policies and genocidal ideology resulted in unparalleled destruction and loss of life. The Holocaust alone accounted for the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews, along with millions of other victims. Hitler's legacy is a stark reminder of the dangers of totalitarianism and unchecked hatred. 4. Genghis Khan, Mongol Empire, 1206-1227. Genghis Khan founded the Mongol Empire, which became the largest contiguous empire in history. His military campaigns across Asia and Europe were marked by unparalleled brutality, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 40 million people. Genghis Khan's legacy is complex. While he is credited with unifying vast territories and promoting trade, his conquests were often accompanied by mass slaughter and destruction. 5. Pol Pot, Cambodia, 1975-1979. Pol Pot, as the leader of the Khmer Rouge, sought to transform Cambodia into a classless agrarian society. His radical policies led to forced evacuations, labor camps, and mass executions. Approximately 1.7 to 2 million people, nearly a quarter of Cambodia's population, perished during his regime. Pol Pot's rule is remembered as one of the most brutal in modern history, leaving deep scars on Cambodian society. 6. Leopold II of Belgium, Congo Free State, 1885–1908. King Leopold II of Belgium is infamous for his brutal exploitation of the Congo Free State. Under the guise of philanthropy and civilization, he operated a regime of forced labor, torture, and genocide to extract rubber and ivory. Millions of Congolese, estimated between 10 to 15 million, died from overwork, starvation, disease, and systematic atrocities. Entire villages were depopulated, and severed hands became a symbol of terror used by Leopold's private army to prove kills and instill obedience. Despite international outcry by the early 1900s, Leopold profited immensely until global pressure forced him to cede control to the Belgian government in 1908. His reign of terror left deep psychological and cultural wounds in the Congo and stands as one of the worst colonial atrocities in history. While Hideki Tojo, Japan, 1941–1944. Hideki Tojo was Japan's prime minister during most of World War II and one of the primary architects of its aggressive expansion across Asia. Under his leadership, Japanese forces committed numerous war crimes, including the infamous Rape of Nanking, the Bataan Death March, and cruel experiments by Unit 731. Millions of civilians and prisoners of war perished as a result of his militaristic policies. Tojo staunchly promoted Japan's imperial ambitions and justified brutality in the name of national honor. After Japan's defeat, he was arrested, tried for war crimes, and executed in 1948. While often overshadowed by European leaders of the same era, Tojo's role in the Pacific Theater was instrumental in the deaths of over 5 million people. 8. Kim Il-sung, North Korea, 1948–1994. Kim Il-sung was the founder of North Korea and ruled for nearly 5 decades. His dictatorship laid the groundwork for one of the most repressive regimes in modern history. Under his rule, North Korea became a hermit kingdom plagued by famine, purges, labor camps, and mass indoctrination. It's estimated that over 1.6 million people died during the Great North Korean Famine of the 1990s alone, and many more perished in prison camps. Kim enforced a godlike cult of personality, rewriting history to present himself as a divine savior. His policies not only impoverished his nation, but created a legacy of authoritarianism that continues to this day under his descendants. 9. Ivan the Terrible, Russia, 1547–1584. Ivan IV, known as Ivan the Terrible, was the first Tsar of Russia and a ruler infamous for his cruelty and paranoia. His reign began with modernization and military expansion, but devolved into tyranny and mass murder. His creation of the Oprichnina, a secret police and death squad, led to purges, torture, and executions across the Russian nobility and peasantry. He massacred the population of Novgorod, suspecting disloyalty, and even killed his own son in a fit of rage. Though he centralized power and expanded Russian territory, his legacy is one of bloodshed, fear, and madness. Ivan's rule sowed instability that plagued Russia for generations. 10. Napoleon Bonaparte, France, 1799–1815. Napoleon Bonaparte, though often hailed as a military genius, left behind a bloody legacy across Europe. His wars of conquest, spanning from Spain to Russia, resulted in the deaths of over 3.5 million people. The Napoleonic Wars reshaped the European map, toppled monarchies, and brought mass suffering. His campaigns introduced total war and nationalism, changing the nature of conflict. Despite introducing reforms like the Napoleonic Code and modern administrative systems, his ambition led to relentless warfare and untold destruction. His invasion of Russia and the Peninsular War in Spain are particularly notorious for the immense civilian casualties. Napoleon remains one of history's most controversial figures, a revolutionary hero to some, a ruthless conqueror to others. 11. Benito Mussolini, Italy, 1922–1945. Benito Mussolini, the founder of Italian fascism, led Italy into a dark age of dictatorship, war, and repression. Declaring himself Il Duce, Mussolini dismantled democracy, censored the press, and imprisoned or executed political opponents. His ambitions for a new Roman Empire led to disastrous invasions, most notably in Ethiopia, where Italian forces used chemical weapons and massacred civilians. Aligning with Nazi Germany during World War II, Mussolini's regime supported anti-Semitic laws and contributed to the Axis powers' atrocities. His reign caused over 1 million deaths through warfare, colonial brutality, and fascist repression. In the end, he was captured and executed by Italian partisans, his corpse publicly displayed in Milan as a symbol of his fall from power. 12. Mengistu Haile Mariam, Ethiopia, 1977–1991. Mengistu Haile Mariam led Ethiopia through one of the most terrifying regimes in African history. As head of the Derg military junta, he orchestrated the Red Terror, a brutal campaign against political opponents. Thousands were executed in the streets, often with their bodies left to rot as a warning. His policies, including forced resettlement and land collectivization, led to massive famine and displacement. Estimates place the number of deaths during his rule at over 1.5 million. Mengistu ruled with an iron fist, suppressing dissent, weaponizing starvation, and turning Ethiopia into a Cold War battleground. After his fall in 1991, he fled to Zimbabwe, where he has lived in exile despite being convicted of genocide in absentia. 13. Francisco Franco, Spain, 1939–1975. Francisco Franco rose to power after a bloody civil war in Spain, establishing a fascist dictatorship that lasted nearly 4 decades. His regime began with mass executions of political enemies, known as the White Terror, in which over 100,000 people were killed or disappeared. Franco suppressed regional languages, censored the press, and created a police state. Concentration camps dotted Spain, and dissent was crushed through imprisonment and torture. Although he stayed neutral during World War II, his internal repression rivaled that of the Axis powers. Franco maintained power until his death in 1975, leaving behind a legacy of fear and trauma that still divides Spanish society today. 14. Pol Pot, Cambodia, 1975–1979. Pol Pot led the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia and committed one of the most horrifying genocides of the 20th century. Seeking to build a communist agrarian utopia, he emptied cities, banned money, religion, and education, and forced millions into brutal labor camps. Intellectuals, professionals, and anyone deemed bourgeois were systematically executed. Between 1.7 to 2 million people, about 25% of Cambodia's population, died from execution, starvation, and overwork. Known for his chilling phrase, "To keep you is no benefit, to destroy you is no loss," Pol Pot ruled with paranoia and absolute control. The killing fields, mass graves across Cambodia, stand as haunting reminders of his brutal regime. Pol Pot died in 1998, never having faced justice. 15. Genghis Khan, Mongol Empire, 1206–1227. Genghis Khan, founder of the Mongol Empire, was both a brilliant military strategist and one of the deadliest leaders in human history. His conquests across Asia and Eastern Europe led to the deaths of an estimati. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel Storycraft for more interesting videos.